brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking hosts, the good old boys. Suds. It's time for more Suds.
Hey, welcome everybody to this Suds segment today where good beer meets bad radio. Greeting and introduce hosts. Oh, I did it again, didn't I?
That's the bad radio part.
Yeah, that's the bad radio part. Hey, this is good old boy Mike. Thanks for joining us here on Sips, Suds, and Smokes, where everything good in life is worth discussing. Joining me here at microphone left is good old boy Dave.
Let's get this over with.
Is that your plan?
Totally uninterested.
You just want to be expedient about it all.
I wish you guys could see him.
Is that it? Just
there
want to be
he
expedient.
is. There's the face that we love.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, he's back.
Good old boy
Today's
Kendall is here.
Is efficiency.
It's my pleasure, as always.
Yeah. The only guy that has fermentation, tattooed on his arm, can sit here with
It's so I don't forget how to do it.
You
Yeah.
should see what's tattooed in other places. The important.
I have no tattoos,
Ruh-roh,
and I
ruh-roh.
always remember how to do it. So, good old boy Caperton is here.
I'm here. I am indeed, and it has just dawned on me.
There's no kudzu involved in this
There's
episode.
no kudzu. Unfortunately, no kudzu was harmed. But this is an all-male episode.
Oh, well, that's not planned.
It's like
It
a
just
sausage
wound up
party
that
here.
Okay.
Okay. That just hit me.
Let's try to keep the aggression down.
Hi, everyone.
Someone is here to bless us in early and often, and that would be Reverend
Thank
Mark.
you. It's so lovely to be here.
I just peed a
so
little.
very lovely. What was that?
So,
I can't repeat
at
that
the
in
top
front
of
of a
your
reverend.
on your resume, is this
edgy.
show anywhere on there, Reverend Mark?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's kind of asterisk to the very back of the, like
Almost indicted.
Asterisk for sure.
It's on the list of things
on
he's
the
had to ask
ass
forgiveness
It's on the
for.
questionnaire list. Is there any compromising activity that you have outside of that of the faith?
yeah, yeah. It's right under. Have you ever smoked weed?
Yeah, never convicted. Never convicted.
Like, can we have like a time limit, like the last 30 days or 30 minutes or, with my left hand or my right hand?
There's no statute of limitations on this thing.
Oh,
Sharing.
that's so bad.
Sharing is caring. Please hold my hand. I guess, collectively, the hosts of this show probably try hundreds, if not thousands of beers each year. But no matter how hard we try, none of us can try them all. So sometimes we just like to get together and share something new and exciting with others. And in that spirit, today's episode is a bottle share.
Yeah.
Or a can share. It's a bottle and can share. It's a can bottle share. Anyway.
Moving along.
We can share.
There's a lot of brown bags involved.
share.
So we each brought...
I was thinking dirty stuff, and Mark jumped in
Wow,
there with
man.
something very direct.
I like how the fact that we just completely degraded the show. And what's the mark? 4 minutes and 2 seconds.
Can
there
share.
you go. We each brought something that's new and widely available, and we're here to share and discuss them. Before we get into that, though, this Suds segment is brought to you by...
Stuff and things. Do you like stuff? Do you need things? Well, come on down to Stuff and Things. I mean, we have more stuff than anyone, and our things, our things. Stuff and things, things and stuff. Stuff and things and stuff and things. Now, with more stuff and things.
Well, good old boy Dave, how many beers have you tried so far, just this year?
Well, I haven't been to any festivals, so that's really, dampened down what I've done. But I'd say between the daily beer reviews, just, my day drinking, stealing beers from other people when they're not looking, probably around 300.
Is that Elvis?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. That's
It's the year's only half
It's a
over.
good
It's above
start.
it's
That
above
is a good
average.
start.
How about some of the rest of you? What's your number?
Just for the year,
Yeah.
It's probably be about 300. I probably do about 500 a year.
Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy. But of course, I can drink more beer than you.
Yeah, come on now. I would say that I drink a couple of 200-300 a year, maybe. This year is maybe a little ahead of the curve because I've been to a few extra festivals. But yeah, that seems to be our average here.
Yeah, for me,
Except Mike.
I'm not so sure what it is this year, but I'm looking at my archive in terms of beers that I have archived, and I've divided it by the years I have been archiving beers, and so on average per year, 349.
Wow.
He
So
used his
specific.
phone
This guy-
calculator for that too.
guy
So
brought
that's
in-
just like
Brought in the math.
He's got the slide
but
rule
a lot
out
of
over
those
here.
are 1 ounce pours, officer.
Yeah, that's
so,
true.
you know,
That's true. And I'm
Those
definitely-
count.
but
Those
a lot
count.
aren't.
I am definitely going to confess to the vast majority of the beers that I have are probably less than 4 ounces on average. I don't
and
probably,
a few spews.
Yeah. There's the power of the drain.
A lot of spit takes.
Yeah, I
Yep.
don't know.
Yep.
Probably on average 2,000 to 3,000 every year. You know, that's if between industry tastings, beers that get sent to us, sometimes, more than once. Yeah, that armadillo beer, not going to happen. Not going to make the show.
Well, on
Okay?
years where you go to
Sorry.
like Great American Beer Festival, I mean, you're going to drink a few hundred.
Yeah.
Just there, yeah.
I mean, definitely when we've been to things like GABF that have, probably 1,500 beers alone, at that we're probably hammering down. But I don't know. Would you say that tasting more beers actually, do you like that better? Or would you rather just have like 100 really good beers, every year?
I'd like to do both.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do both. Is that an option?
Well, you have to go.
Can we have 300 good beers every year?
Yeah.
Is what
Well, you
you're
have to go
saying?
through the bad ones to know the good ones that you'd like to stay
That's
with.
exactly right.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, there's beers you try when you're going out to a place, and there's beers like if you go to a festival, and then there's beers at a tasting or bottle share. But then there's just like beers when you're sitting around having dinner or, mowing the yard or whatever, or, waking up first thing in the morning, getting ready to go to work. Oh, wait, never mind.
And then there's the beers that are available to you on Friday afternoon after you've bought your lottery ticket and
Yeah.
what's in the refrigerator there behind the counter.
Sure.
No, just kidding.
Well, it's football season, and my beer actually increases with each week. So consumption,
It's because his team's not very good.
it's fabulous this
Lot of
year.
drowning of sorrow there.
Today is the day of hope. It's the first game.
Big gooey mess.
Well, let's definitely add to those totals today. Good old boy Kendall, I'd like for you to read our Suds ratings for our audience today.
We'll be discussing and rating these beers with the Suds ratings, plus our signature belching sounds. Here are those ratings now. 1, that sucks. Give me anything but a bud. 2, was that a belch? 3, what a relief. 4, a body should really not make that sound. And 5, listen to that hang time. Give me another.
Well done.
That
All
hurt.
right.
That hurt a
Thanks,
lot.
Kendall. I appreciate you reading our Suds ratings today. So this is a blind tasting. So like I said, each host has brought one, or in the case of Kendall, he's brought 2 beers. And we're just going to go around and for each host, and we're going to talk a little bit about that beer, what it tastes like, and then we'll rate it, and then we'll tell you a little bit about that beer as well. So hang tough with us through this. I think you'll find it rather informative. By the way, we do this an awful lot.
Yeah.
And so we really enjoy tasting like this.
I do too.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, Kendall.
It's so upsetting what's happening in my mouth currently.
Beer number 1. Let's see here.
Number 1.
My first impression was it was kind of malty and hoppy. That was my first comment.
This tastes very
Which makes it a
familiar.
beer.
Yeah. It's definitely hoppy.
Definitely
Yeah, but
Well,
it
I
has
know
a,
you're a Sierra Nevada freak.
yeah,
so
it has a good malt backbone.
yeah.
I'm
I know
thinking
the
this has a lot of
yeast.
Cascade
I
in
know
it for
the
some
yeast.
reason.
This came out of California.
It is. Yes,
Yeah.
but it is not,
Not
Sierra.
Sierra Nevada. Okay. Wait, he has a Sierra Nevada shirt on today in front of me too. So
It's to throw us off.
Yeah, exactly.
Is a head
I
fake.
think I know this beer.
Everything about
Yeah?
Kendall is a swerve.
Is this
You,
Firestone Walker?
No, it is
No,
not.
I'm
No.
going to say this is from the Lagunitas family.
Wow.
It is.
Ooh.
Wow.
Very good.
I know.
I
This,
was
I've
close.
Drank,
Stone and Lagunitas.
I've drank a ton of this beer.
So is this a little something?
It is not. No. Would you like a description?
Sure. Hit us.
Let's rate it first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. yeah.
I'm sorry. Any more comments?
I have lots of comments, but not about this. So,
sorry. I wasn't ready for that.
Let's see. Let's figure out a rating on this beer here.
Reverend Mark.
I just
I give it a 4.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I do
a
too.
4 it is here for Kendall's first beer.
Somebody shake Grandpa. He's sleeping again.
This is a
Oh
kind of a classic West Coast IPA. And the reason I picked this, it's not a new beer, but the format was new to me.
Oh.
The description is this beer was the beer with a guarantee built right into the name. This one's designed to blast through the flavors from the night before, massively dry hop for your aromatic pleasures. 8% with 102 IBUs.
no. Ooh, show us the label.
He hasn't revealed it yet. So wait. Let's see if we can guess it from that description.
So the reason I picked this is this beer was widely available in bombers for years for cheap, for like less than $5. And now I'm seeing it in 6-packs at the grocery store, which is even better because you can get this literally everywhere.
So many places it's dumb.
So let's see. I guess Little Something Ale was my first choice.
So many places it's dumb, Mike. It's dumb.
Hop Stupid.
Hop Stupid.
That's my guess.
Hop
There you
Stupid.
go. That's
my
How about
guess.
that?
Yeah, now that it's in 6-packs for $10 at
Yeah.
every Kroger or every other grocery store in the country, it's a great go-to West Coast IPA.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we'll be right back in just a minute. Hey, welcome back to Sips, Suds, and Smokes. On today's episode, our Suds segment, we're going through a blind tasting of beers that each of our hosts have brought. We just covered our first beer, which actually was a beer from Lagunitas called Hop Stupid. And we all totally missed that. But it is a...
Caperton
I
got
was
it.
getting... Caperton got it.
By all of us, you mean you guys.
I didn't get it. I was stupid, but it is very malty and very
Oh yeah,
hoppy.
it's
yeah.
and that's a classic West Coast IPA. Is those things weren't just a pure hot bomb; they had
was
massive
really good.
malt backbones.
A little bit of caramel there, a little bit of
that caramel really is there
Yep.
for sure.
Lagunitas,
this is
man.
almost an old school one.
Yeah, I've liked them for a while, but they've really been bringing it
for the
last couple
dollar.
years.
They're kind of unbeatable. man.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, these are 6-packs for $10.
Yeah.
That
What do you
are
think, Rev Mark?
available.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that it's just it has just enough hop to give you a tingle.
Yeah.
Whoa. But yeah, the malt sweetness is just enough there also to where you can kind of come back to it. Because for me, if I drink like really hopped up, overly bitter IPAs, after a while, 2 is about it. I've got to go something malty just to kind of rebalance my palate.
Kind of clean.
Yeah.
So I think this is an ongoing kind of a session. It's not a session strength beer, but it's one that you could make a session of if you're staying in for the night.
Yep.
It's pretty amazing that just how malty it is, because with 102 IBUs, that could be a very bitter beer if you dialed back the malt.
Oh
on that.
yeah.
Yeah. I like how they got those extra 2 IBUs in there.
Right.
102.
We don't stop at 100.
2.
Just because your palate stops
louder.
at 100
It's 2
doesn't
more
mean
bitter.
we do. Yeah. 2 more.
So I had a topic to bring up today that's really, kind of unnerving me, which is
Oh boy.
I'm really wondering if we can talk about something approaching our produce, which is Amish produce.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
we had this discussion previously about Amish housekeeping, and would you really know if your person, if that person is Amish, and how they would clean your house? I just thought the topic was hilarious. I'm like, Do you dust right to left instead of left to right if you're doing, Amish housekeeping? I mean, so I'm like, if you saw 2 zucchinis in front of you, would you know which one is the Amish zucchini?
Has a beard.
Yeah. It's the one that's fecally contaminated, Mike.
It tends to move every time you go, Eli. It just kind of quivers a little bit.
It shakes.
It has a little...
And it comes from the Yoder farm, right?
If you threaten it with a stick, it cowers.
Yeah, it has buggy marks on it.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Buggy whip.
Well, you couldn't examine it in a mirror because the Amish only allow mirrors that are like maybe
really small,
4 inches high, to curb.
I did not know
sort
that.
of the vanity
lingering on yourself. There.
Yeah, you can't.
That's why they only shave their mustache.
Yeah,
it's because they have those tiny mirrors.
We have Amish at the hospital quite a bit, actually. I don't know if they're Amish or Mennonite though. I'm not sure.
Probably Mennonite, I'm guessing.
If they like to party, they're Mennonite.
I should ask.
Yeah.
Mennonites probably like beer.
I hear Amish produce only responds to German. I don't know that that's true.
Yeah.
But the Amish are not always anti-technology. They just figure, to what extent does technology take them away
stand between them and their faith? Correct. Right.
I hear the Amish have a mafia. I don't know.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Well,
there's a reality show.
Yeah, I was about to say there's a show about that.
I saw that on the TV.
So do you think the Amish mafia would know the difference between real Amish produce and non-Amish produce?
If it fell off the back of a buggy.
Yeah. I wonder if they have a tradition.
So
of
which
home
one of
brewing?
you is going to walk into the grocery store and go to the produce clerk and go, I want the Amish oranges?
No. I'm not doing that.
Do we need yet another section in the produce?
Are they Amish in Florida?
No.
Anyway,
I hear those Amish are good at making barns and beds.
Barns and beds, furniture.
Yeah.
And,
you need a barn
buggies,
made, you go get you some Amish guys. They'll get it done in a day.
I just keep wondering why that is some marketing cachet, to say that these tomatoes are
that's
Amish,
where this is
or
going.
these
I
zucchini
see.
are Amish. I'm like, so
that's bugging you.
do we
isn't
need
it?
like Amish beer in order to kind of kick things up? Just
We
a
might.
bit?
Well,
We
if
might.
you think about it, like
the first Amish brewery.
well, if it's Amish, it's not going to be GMO.
It's true. That's
True.
what I'm
That's
saying.
true.
That,
Yeah.
and they're probably not going to use
It's gonna be
like
some
those
farmhouse beer, bro.
fancy
Hey.
pesticides.
and if you're buying molasses,
So we should talk to Roy and Travis about doing Blackberry
They do
Farms
make good
first Amish beer.
molasses.
We could get some local Amish ingredients in there for sure.
You got Muddy Pond over there in East Tennessee.
You know the Amish. Now here I do know that the Amish make cider.
True.
They make excellent.
Well,
Wait, hard
so my
cider
family
or
had
no, I don't. The cider I buy is just. I
think it's
the
just
straight stuff.
yeah.
So my
Apple
family
cider.
owned one of the third largest orchard in Ohio.
Oh,
And we actually did have quite a few Mennonite and Amish that actually worked in the orchard. And we had one cidery where we both
Your
crushed
family
the apples.
owned some Amish people?
We didn't own the Amish
what he
people.
said.
We owned
That's what
that's
he said.
what
we
it
owned the
sounded
land
That's
that
what
the,
he said.
that the
Slipped
orchard
out.
was on. Yes. But
Sip, Suds, and Smokes rocked by a scandal.
but actually
out
that
there
was
and
something I
squeeze
grew
those
up on.
apples.
I grew up on
Jedediah, you don't come in the house
Squeeze
until
harder.
you finish them apples, boy.
I'm gonna sit on the veranda and make sure you squeeze them all.
I like how this is.
You boys better press the rest of them apples.
Squeeze them harder.
Get on it, Eli.
Poor Amish.
Don't get your beard hair into my apple cider.
We need the Amish underground.
And I thought this was going to be a light topic. Wow. Anyway,
And cut.
so if you can help us, sort out specifically the value add proposition of Amish produce versus non-Amish produce, please write us here at Sip Suds and Smokes. Info at
points.
Sip Suds and
If your
Smokes.
life has been impacted positively or negatively by the Amish, please reply to
you're able
info
to-
at sipsudsandsmokes.com.
Send any spreadsheets with cost benefit analysis.
Yep.
And if you have photos,
Well,
Please don't.
let's get to our next beer here from good old boy Caperton.
Oh,
So you're up next.
oh yeah,
Let's see here.
let's see what this thing tastes like.
It's from Mr. Saison. It smells and
It might
tastes
be
like
a Saison.
it's a little obvious. That's true.
Really?
a little bit. But, yeah.
We're not saying you're a one-trick pony.
And Yes, you guys have nailed the style.
What's the name of this Saison? An aversion to hops?
A little bit. And if you guys thought about it very hard at all, it's a Saison in a can.
Oh, I know what
I
you're
know
talking
exactly
about.
which one it is.
I know what you're talking about.
It's very DuPont yeasty.
Yes, it is.
It is indeed.
Yes, and I know somebody, in East Tennessee that makes world class.
Yes.
I do too.
It's got a lot of
You're smoking hot over there, Mike.
got a lot of Fred Sanford's sister-in-law.
I'm going to say this is Blackberry Farm Classic Saison.
This is classic
Yes.
Saison.
Oh,
you are
we
correct.
guessed it.
You're correct.
Really?
So this is So again,
How
this
about
is
that?
this is not exactly a new beer, although it's newish. It's
newish.
definitely new in this format, right?
Well, so definitely narrowing
Great idea.
the Saisons in a can. That narrowed it down to 4.
so how many? How many are there in America?
With a gold lid.
How many breweries with a huge, almost national footprint have a Saison, or let alone 3 in their core lineup?
Yeah, and do them so well.
Yeah, and this is gold medal. Not sure if it was gold.
Yeah,
Was it gold, or-
GABF.
it was a medal winner for sure.
Medal winner for sure. I
think
was there.
2016.
They,
maybe.
I think they've won. They've medaled 2 years at GABF. Yeah. A lot of other awards.
So this is a GABF award-winning beer in a 12-ounce can in 6-packs, depending on where you live. And I do know this for a fact because 12% distribute them nationally, and they cut it down to 4-packs outside the state.
So this is recent move where they've moved towards packaging in a can.
They have, and the transition from bottle conditioned Saison to a canned Saison is controversial amongst the Saison aficionado.
The purists are not a fan.
They are still
Well,
making.
the purists can't deny what's going on here, right?
Really?
But I still see
I think the only thing I
head
see going
brewers
on
from
is
Trinity
really great
and other
beer.
places say that they will never put Saison in a can, that they can't get the carbonation level, the carbonic
horse
sort of. And I think that's
Wait, we're not talking about the Amish anymore.
and maybe maybe they can't. But I think some people
Jedediah,
can.
go.
I think some people
Blackberry
can.
can.
And they had started, I met our friend Maddie when this was in transition, and he told me they were in the process of rebranding. Classic was going to be in 6-packs, and my mind, when I scraped it off the ceiling from exploding, I didn't realize that they were going full in like they have, and they really have. So it's an award-winning beer in 12-ounce cans, 6-packs. You can buy this. I bought this at a local grocery store. So that's
Let's
that's a 5.
rate this beer up here real quick.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. How about
All right,
that?
fine.
That's a-
Okay,
Hey,
that's
our,
Give me
rating
five.
for
Give me
the-
5.
Our rating for the Blackberry Farm Saison Classic Saison is a 5.
Glad you guys like this.
Yeah,
Blackberry Farm out of Maryville, Tennessee.
it's a great beer, and
should
I
say.
think they're still putting Classic in a cork and cage bottle.
They're
just
still
not as
they're
much.
still doing 750s. They're doing limited runs of it. But,
the industry's getting away from 750s anyway.
If you're in some parts of the country, you can probably find it in a bottle, but not the can. But the cans are getting out there.
Oh, the cans are pretty available. Like I say, when 12% picked up the distribution for them, that really kind of enlarged their footprint.
Well, should definitely venture back into our back catalog. We have a brewery takeover edition of Blackberry Farm beers. See, I said it non-plural. It's a farm.
Yeah.
As opposed to the way that I said it on the episode, probably I slipped in an extra farm or two here and
Hashtag
there.
farms.
Yeah.
No S. One farm, but now one mountain too.
Whoa. Okay.
Well, there is Blackberry Mountain
Blackberry
as
Mountain.
well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, that sounds like a good place to be.
Yeah, we've had
Good place to drop some cash.
a lot of opportunity to talk about a lot of beers from Blackberry Farm, and would encourage you to check out this alternative packaging, which has been recently released for sure.
If we ever wanted to have a Sip Suds and Smokes retreat,
Field trip.
maybe Blackberry Farm would be the place we would.
I've been to that tap room. It's amazing.
Well, they would invite us because
opened
we
it.
would bring all the really great whiskey. Yeah, for sure.
Very nice.
It's an amazing organization too. They really are. They don't half step anything. So that's one reason this beer is
Maybe
so
that's
good.
why they haven't invited us.
Top nine. Yeah.
It's a good chance of it.
That's
We are
probably the
not
reason.
classy enough.
Up next is Reverend Mark, and he has brought crude oil in a glass.
I think this is the.
yeah.
I think this is the same beer that Caperton bought.
Well, this is this midnight black glass of
Coffee stout.
Magic.
elixir for your soul.
I'm going to guess it's a coffee stout.
I actually wanted this to be served last, but I'm like three offerings into our 5-course meal. So
Okay.
sorry about that. This is a dessert. This is for dessert, really.
Why?
Well,
Let's
why?
avoid the rest and drink it now.
It's
Yeah,
more like
yeah.
an aperitif.
So this is I will leave you dangling in terms of what you think, where this came from, but
I think it's the Lagunitas coffee stout, or the that would be a really good, interesting move. That the two of you brought both Lagunitas beers.
well, it's not that. It's not that. It is
Was this made in St. Louis, Missouri?
That's what I was thinking.
not at all.
Wow.
I'm guessing Colorado.
Wow.
No.
Well, what do you think of it, other than it's good and coffee?
Well,
and-
think of espresso, and instead of adding water to espresso, to make an espresso through an espresso machine, you add beer.
Yeah.
This is kind of
That's
what
what I
this
think.
is. This is like beer
do
being
not
run
tempt me
through
to
a-
screw up my espresso machine.
This
Mike,
is
what are you doing? Honey, I'm altering the use of the espresso machine.
Reverend Mark told me to do it.
Right.
Very, very roasty, very coffee, very
Very thick.
Luscious. Yeah.
There's
almost Russian.
I love the so the
imperial-esque.
finish on this is what I probably enjoy, which is it's incredibly balanced. It's
Kinda
not like
boozy.
this big bitter finish off of it. It's this incredible balance.
It's got a little sweetness to it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll read you some tasting notes. This deep dark stout exhibits rich espresso and coffee notes, which are contributed by the generous use of roasted barley and espresso locally brewed at That simply is not enough for
had
us.
coffee there.
Kind of I get some dark fruit in there too.
Listen to this last part. We also add roasted raw chocolate.
Oh,
Yeah.
roasted chocolate.
Roasted raw chocolate.
Girlfriend.
Okay, so like
And a hint of vanilla to add to this big-bodied
That's
stout.
a crazy thing they're doing.
Dodge the red eye and take a shot of the dark.
Hey, was this made in Maryland?
Nope, you're way off.
Wow.
You're way
I'm
off.
going through all the M states.
Yeah.
Well, let's rate this up first. What's going to be your rating for this?
Yeah.
Our rating here for this beer is going to be a 4. Let's find out what it is here.
It is, and it is readily available, though not necessarily cheap, and you can't get it in a 6-pack. But it is Cigar City's Cafe Amaretto.
Oh, nice.
Well done, sir. Well done.
The first thing I was thinking was Cigar City Marshall Zukov,
Yeah.
but it is not this much coffee or chocolate.
Well,
Yeah.
the Zukov has a lot more stringent element to it.
But I wonder
and
if-
a lot more bitterness to it.
that could be part of the recipe. But man,
Yeah.
it's
They may have started with Zukov and
then
then
added
water.
a ton of coffee.
and some
But
chocolate. yeah.
one criteria I used is I got the instructions on what to bring to this show. Of course, something that's readily available locally is that I went to my local beer place and I was looking at the upper rack where you can get actually singles, like single cans, single bottles, whatever.
Yeah.
And this was among, the variety of things they had. I think 50 beers and all that they had lined up on the top. This was one of them. So I said, hey, if I got to select one beer, this is going to be it today.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
So this
Very
is name the beer. So Cigar City makes a lot of stouts. This is
Cafe
The Cafe Americano.
Cafe Americano stout from Cigar City.
Well, that goes
Wow.
with the espresso.
So a little espresso, a little
so
water.
I like this because I like the naming nomenclature around this because it does taste a little bit like a slightly watered down espresso stout because the bitterness is a bit, kind of softened and rounded around this. And, Americano means I added water, you idiot.
Too strong. Too strong for me.
Yeah. Give me some more Maxwell's. But But
Best part of
but that's what I like about this. The way they've described this beer, I think it's right on. Again, our Suds rating for the Cafe Americano from Cigar City is a 4.
It's Mike's turn.
All right.
Mike's turn, everybody.
We'll have time to taste my beer and talk about some of the tasting notes here before the break. So, and I think this is very interesting. The 1-2
That was a
punch
Suds rating, dude.
It was.
between what I brought
It's a
and
sausage
so
party,
you
man.
I could not have planned this better for these two beers to be side by side because it definitely goes hand in hand.
No.
Your beer goes hand in hand with what, Mike?
Now.
With the Cafe Americano?
It
Really?
does.
Is that what you think?
Because it doesn't look like it does. Is this one of those?
Doesn't taste like it does.
Oh, jeez.
I may open a fresh one of these at the break.
Wait a minute.
Because you really have to have this beer.
I think
super
I know
fresh.
this beer.
What's the first thing that strikes you?
I smell basil.
Basil. Wow. Interesting.
Lemon, honey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lemon, honey.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
I get a little ginger in that too.
That is an interesting taste, too.
Dave went and got the fresh can.
No idea what this is.
And I think what we'll do here during the break is there was a certain part of the aspect of this beer that you had to do, and everybody's freaking
Are you
out.
shaking that can up,
shaking
Mike?
We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to Sip, Suds, and Smokes. On today's episode, on the Suds episode, we're doing a brown bag bottle share tasting, and we're going around with each host has brought a beer to share. We're going around discussing that beer, we're rating it, and then we're revealing it. And we've gone through a couple so far. We're actually on the beer I brought, and so right before the break, I asked for the fresh can, and I was doing what with it, Dave?
You were shaking that thing up.
I was
shaking their moneymaker.
It's part of you now.
I was shaking the beer, which is
Agitating the yeast. You were stirring things up there.
I was
Shaken, not
agitating
stirred.
the yeast.
Yeah.
It's what he does to people, agitating.
Or were you just trying to get the carbonation up there?
Negative. You're
Well, we were absolutely quiet during the break.
You're
No
on
one
the-
said a word.
Yes.
I mean, we were like, everybody's sitting around scratching
so
their head.
the other thing that Kendall said was you thought it was a tea.
Yeah, like Red Zinger almost.
Red Zinger. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Dave, what do you think?
Mike is loving this.
Is this cocktail inspired?
Cocktail inspired. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Ding, 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 ding. And I will tell you that Kendall actually was very close. He said this tastes like lemon
and honey.
lemon and honey. Yeah. Cocktail inspired.
It's a cough drop beer.
Cough drop beer. Negative. But thank you. If it was an Amish cough drop, you'd been close.
Does it have nitro in it?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
He's on fire over there.
He is really close.
on fire.
But yet you are still not there to the promised
the
land.
smug
yet of
look on
knowing
his
what
face,
this
though,
is.
tells me that he's like got a.
Any other guesses?
Bead
You want
on
to
this.
nail
I
it
have no
down
idea.
to style of beer, state, anything else?
This is crazy.
Before
It's
I
crazy
reveal,
beer.
let's rate this beer up. What do you guys think of this beer?
Yeah,
It looks like a solid 3
Yeah,
for
3 or 4.
this beer that I have brought from Four
Lord.
Hands.
Oh, is it Hopfen tea?
No, this is Hopfenta is actually from Dogfish. This is from Four Hands Brewery. This beer is called First Impression. What was your first impression of First Impression?
First impression.
Yeah.
I
So
don't know.
very
this beer.
herbal.
this is a
Very
limoncello
herbal.
beer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How about that?
A local brewery tried this recently, and I didn't think it succeeded.
So,
very well.
so I actually went with something that had a couple of curveballs in it, one adjuncts, and the second thing is this is a nitro ale in a can.
Yeah.
So without the injector that they do
Right,
with
the little
with
thing,
Guinness,
the
right?
thing,
Yeah.
yeah,
So this is the first time I've I've seen somebody actually go. So you have to shake to activate it.
I got
And
you.
the
That's
reason
what
why.
you're shaking it up over.
Like Stillwater has done a couple of those that were cocktail inspired. And that's what I thought this was part of that series. So that four hands, that's really
So
interesting.
there's
Good choice,
There's your
yeah.
St. Louis, Missouri, right
Yeah,
there.
I do like
But
limoncello there.
hats off to Kendall for absolutely nailing it, because the two major things are lemon and sugar are the major ingredients, along with vodka and limoncello.
I do like limoncello.
So yeah, way to nail it. So interesting beer. I just thought it was super refreshing. I was sitting around
Yeah,
watching
it is great.
tennis, all week and just pounding these down, going, yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
And it really is good with chocolate. So we had it back to back with this cafe
nice.
Americano.
Yeah.
And really good pairing. I've heard some other comments. People go, this is lemon meringue in a can.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
Sure.
But, well, cool. I knew I'd chump
Not
you
had
guys
this beer. Interesting.
with that one. I'll pass this can around so you guys can
Let me see.
enjoy that.
Kiss your mother with that mouth?
He's passing the can around. but
Up
it's
next
empty.
is don't touch my can that hard.
That hard?
Good old boy Dave.
Gently.
Let's cover.
Gently, Mark. Gently.
Yes.
Okay,
It's
so.
not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt you.
you're going to introduce the beer. You're not going to just let us plop.
Well, no,
bomb to it?
all I'm going to say is it's a collaboration. That's all I'm going to say.
No.
It is tart.
Yeah. So I said it was a kettle sour at first tasting when on the fresh pour, and you said, "Wow, that's really harsh."
Oh, wow.
And this is harsh.
This doesn't smell like a kettle sour.
No, it isn't. After it's actually definitely more down the path of
This is an
a
aged
Flanders.
sour. Yeah, this is an aged sour.
Oakley dokley.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
that's pretty.
This tastes like classic Yazoo, Flanders to me.
Or an old Brewing?
Not so. This
An
is
old
like
Brewing?
more restrained,
Yeah.
more restrained sour wise than
This is-
ETF beers.
This is not that doesn't have a lot of ETF profiles.
Yeah.
It doesn't-
this
it's
is
not
not hitting
acidic
that.
enough, is
no,
what you're saying.
yeah,
It's not
this is,
funky enough
This is
either.
subtle. This is way
even-
more.
If there's any funk at all, it's very, very small.
I would say California and Louisiana. That's where.
No.
Where these.
Oh, this is nice.
So you're saying it's an Abita sour beer?
Is this in a bottle or a can?
The
Bottle?
dill pickle,
Nola?
the dill pickle, Abita beer.
Yes, it's a dill pickle. Abita
Dill
beer.
pickle Abita
Jeez.
beer.
This guy with his palate, you can't get past Mike. Anything.
World class.
Does Abita? Just to pause for a second. Does Abita make a pickle beer?
They do.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Because I'm
I'm sorry. Actually, it's a potato chip.
a salt and vinegar potato chip or
It's
something.
actually it's a potato chip variety from Zapp's, which is made in Louisiana.
A salt and
Called
vinegar
dill pickle.
potato chip beer.
I always get those things mixed up. Potato
That'd be
chips
pretty
and
good.
beer.
Actually, what's
pretty
the one
good.
in Cincinnati? They make that dill pickle beer.
Rheingeist?
No.
Mad Tree?
No.
Our friends at Plan B make one.
Yeah, and
Plan B.
it was kind of nice.
Rivertown?
No.
It's sweeping the nation. These pickle beers.
We've named all the breweries
Dill. Silly dilly.
in
No,
Cincinnati.
I'll have to think of it. Never mind. Just shut up. All right. Well, what do you guys think of this beer?
I think it's a good example of just a kind of a sour golden
I think it's
ale.
okay-ish. It tastes like a blend of sour beer and something else.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah,
a
I do
lot.
too.
Yeah. I think it
How
tastes
about
a
you,
little.
Reverend Mark?
I
a
think
little
it's kind of
oak
like
maybe.
an Australian Aboriginal armpit beer.
Yeah.
I like how
Kangaroo marsupial pocket beer.
I like how he's been figuring out the moment to bring that on air.
Is it?
It's the third time you
for
mentioned
his-
it today, and I knew it was going to make it
It's
into
a
a
beer
show.
that makes you want to lay down.
It's a beer that is for laying down and avoiding.
I don't think I'm going to get a 4 on this one, boys. I will tell you.
You'll
the
get
reason,
a 2 on this one. It's a
The
number
reason,
2.
the reason I bought this beer was because it was tree fitty.
There you
Tree
go.
fitty.
Yeah, tree fitty.
Hey, this is worth $3.50.
Exactly right.
That's what that's about my rating for this.
I
is
like
going to
it.
be.
Yeah.
I'd give it a 3.
All right, Dave.
Oh my gosh!
Why don't you
What
tell
is
us
it?
what this is?
Unmasked.
And,
Three is not terrible, guys.
So from
NOLA, Modern Times,
Humid Nation, Wild
Humid Nature.
Wild Ale
Humid
with
nature. Humid nature.
Human Nature.
yeah.
Humid nature.
So we rated the NOLA Modern Times collaboration Human Nature a 3.
Read the
if you didn't
spiel
catch
there,
that.
Dave. What's it say? It's got some.
It's a lot of words, dude.
Yeah,
They're
it's got some
small.
words on the label.
Somebody will have to read that for
Oh,
me.
jeez.
my
Hit it,
goodness.
Kendall.
Almost a decade ago, Jereb and Dakin's Jake. I can't read it either. Here, Caperton.
Yeah, smart guy. You wanted somebody to read it.
All right. Jacob Derrick started homebrewing journey, blah, blah, blah.
He reads like I do.
Multiple wild yeast strains, bacteria, blood oranges, la sweets, and grapefruit.
There you go.
And they got a picture of Bootsy Collins in here.
Thinking about it now that I've tasted it, that profile tastes a lot like some of the other NOLA sours. So
Wild
definitely
ale
their
with
cultures
citrus.
are in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't say that I'm a huge fan of, NOLA beers, in general.
I've enjoyed some
I
of their
don't think
sours.
they
They've got
fail.
some.
I don't
They've had
think
some
they
good
fail
ones.
by any stretch of the imagination, but I think they're there may be better offerings out there, but if that's all you've got, that's pretty good, I think.
I think my problem is that I had a client in New Orleans, and I was staying there in town for quite a while, upwards of a year, and I got to know all these breweries really well. And I just
Let me see that again.
there's a couple of parts of the country that I just had difficulty in. Something about the water quality that is
Some Florida beers struggle with water
right.
quality.
So there's definitely some Florida beers that have really taken on some minerality or sulfur undercomponent or something. It's always kind of crawled at me. I don't know, that whole thing ripping through the Chesapeake Bay. And things
What?
through. Yeah, I mean,
What are
all
you
these
talking
beers through
about
Virginia
now?
that,
What are you
I'm serious.
talking about,
When you
dude?
go to 15 different breweries in Virginia Beach and you go,
This thing
I'm
was-
sorry, but
This thing was crawling at me, and then it was
Anyway.
ripping through the Chesapeake.
But anyway,
Kennebunkport.
so
No, it's too late. It's already in. It's in you. It's part of you.
But let me say, when we're talking about NOLA sours, I'll throw out two. I had to look them up. Piety and Sauvage.
There you go.
are
Sauvage
fantastic.
is
Sauvage.
Sauvage is
If
a
you
great
find
beer.
those, drink
great
them.
beer.
Yeah, I love Sauvage. It's a great beer.
I wonder
I like
though
that.
about this particular one.
Piety.
I wonder what.
It's a great beer, too.
I just wonder what modern
don't talk
times
good.
brought to
It's
it. He's from the South, dude.
should
Get
have
up,
done
I think other than a plane trip, that's about it. And maybe a different souring culture is about all I can think. That they brought.
Though.
Half the budget.
I don't know what. Yeah.
There you go. That's probably it.
They drank beer while
Yeah.
NOLA guys
I don't
brewed
know. Ho homish. It would be difficult for me to.
They tore up the marshmallows. Oh wait, that was a Southern Grist thing. Never mind.
Oops.
Sorry.
Oopsie. Oopsie.
Oh.
Oopsie. We're supposed to say a local brewery, Dave.
Yeah.
A local brewery called Southern Grist.
Well, up next is Kendall's second beer that he happened to bring to us.
Thank you, Kendall.
Yeah,
So-
this is one that's definitely brand new, and you can
newish.
get it everywhere. This is a independent craft brewery, but you'll be able to find this in most parts of the
It's a
country.
beautiful
This
color.
is a horrible Marzon beer. Is what this is.
It's got a reddish tone to it.
Right.
Kind of amber.
I'm only permitted 3 Marzon beers a year, and this is some pumpkin fest crap from.
It's not Pumpkin Fest.
Smells a little bit like ass.
Uh,
Oh wait a minute. That was
No, I get
that
it.
was that
Is this
was my
made-
hand.
was this made in Maryland?
Good call. Good call.
No,
Was it made in Massachusetts?
I do not like this. This is just. It's very malty.
Is it
It's
made in
almost
Ohio?
It's halfway between an amber and a red ale. It definitely has a lot of Marzon. You know
what, though?
qualities. About it. This tastes like some Oktoberfest
Oktoberfest.
beer.
It's a VMO of some kind.
I like this beer
I
because
do too.
This is not bad.
You know what? It washed the sourness from the
Yeah.
last beer.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
No, I had a bottle of this yesterday when I cracked it open and drank it cold, I thought it was beautiful. This beer probably hasn't warmed up well. Saving it to the end
good.
did not
That's
help.
a good point.
I still like it.
All right. So you're
think
saying
it's-
that my harsh comments are too harsh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's pull a cold one out and drink it.
Ooh, you kiss your mother with that mouth?
But this is about a 6.2% Oktoberfest beer.
See, there you go.
Is it a Sierra Nevada?
So
you
it is.
go.
Oh, so you wore the T-shirt with this?
yeah.
No, this is the Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest with Mars Brewing.
Right.
This year's is Sierra Nevada Fest with Bitburger.
Oh, Bitburger.
Bitburger.
So that's the thing I love about Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest for the last 5 years. And me and Mike
Bounced,
had the
yeah.
first collab they did in
We were
2015
there, yeah.
with Regala.
Yes.
And the next year was Mars. And this year's collaboration is with Bitburger.
All I have to say is you have not lived until you've had Ken Grossman pour you a beer out of a tap and hand it to you and go, what do you think of this?
Hell yeah.
That was
Into-
nice. It was a
into
good
his
experience. But I love this beer. I love every Oktoberfest beer they do. And they're different every year because they're collaborating with different German brewers. They're using generally the yeast and the grain from those German breweries and brewing the beer. This one probably came out of Asheville.
Good for them.
Nice.
It just hit, and you can find it anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think this is not a beer that's supposed to warm well. You're supposed to drink
You're
it like
supposed to drink this.
Well,
sucker
thanks
out.
for blowing my entire Oktoberfest. point.
So here's the thing. I don't
my
know that
gosh.
it's not supposed to warm well because if you're an Oktoberfest, you get these gigantic
gigantic
steins of beer.
Yeah,
I'm gonna,
Yeah, but it's-
I'm gonna agree with Dave. I thought the same thing. I didn't
But those
say it,
steins keep it
warms
cool.
okay,
not like
guys.
these little cups we're drinking out of.
They're
it's that
not
little cap.
So
insulated.
do I have to count this as one of my three because it was less than 4 ounces?
Unless you're drinking out of a giant igloo stein. You know,
Well, I do, don't you?
Whip it out there, Kendall.
Yeah. So
Hey,
this
whoa.
year,
Hang on a second here. Do not say the words whip it out on this show.
It's a nice label. They've changed the label.
That's true.
yeah, they change the label every year.
It's more classic,
And I'm
yeah.
a big
It's the
fan of the
classic
German
Oktoberfest
collabs on the
pattern.
Oktoberfest.
I'm a big fan of the classic Oktoberfest beers. I love Hackashore. I love, that's probably one of my favorite, Oktoberfest beers.
I like Spaten.
Spaten does a good one. Eyinger.
Button, Eyinger is absolutely, probably one of the better ones out
Yeah.
there.
I think
They're one of my
everyone
faves.
should go back and listen to our Oktoberfest episode where we talked about a lot of really good beers.
Was I on that episode?
No.
Because I would have just whined and moaned through the whole thing. Probably.
That's why you weren't.
Unlike good old boy Mike, I love Oktoberfest beers.
love
And
them
this
too,
time of year, we actually had a little cold snap here in Tennessee and got below 90 for the first time in a few days.
I know. I had to put on a jacket.
And I cracked me open a Marzen and loved it.
So I'm one of those weirdos that I think Marzens drink well in warm weather too. I really do.
Well, they're just so clean.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not
no.
like it's.
I mean, this
No.
is a great
We didn't rate
lawnmower
it.
beer.
What do
Yeah,
we
what are we
think?
rating
What are we
this
going to
beer?
rate it?
Oh, it's a 4.
Oh my gosh, Mike! There you go.
My rating for the Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest for 2019 is a 4. Under protest. So, yeah. I've
Majority
been
rules.
tricked. I'm not going to count that against my allocation of 3 Oktoberfest beers a year.
I apologize for saying it smelled like ass. Sorry,
We'll
sorry,
see if you
Ken.
get through that.
Sorry, Ken.
Wow. We absolutely smoked an entire hour of tasting beers that we all brought.
Speaking of,
Are we going to do some second pours? I hope so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us for this great episode on Sip, Suds, and Smokes. You can always find us where you found this episode, as well as on radio, satellite, online at iTunes, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or nearly any place that you can listen to a podcast. The easiest way to find this show is on your phone. Ask Siri, Alexa, or Google, or any chick on your phone. Play podcast, Sip, Suds, and Smokes.
And we would love your feedback, so you can reach us online at info@sipsudsandsmokes.com.
But in the subject line, I love Amish produce.
That's right. Our daily tasting notes flow out on Twitter and Instagram every day at Sip Suds Smoke, and our Facebook page is always buzzing with life. lots of news.
Please take the time to rate this episode if you're listening online.
5 stars.
Kendall, take a moment to share with us a little bit about the blog that you have.
My beautiful wife and I blog about the good news of good beer at beermakes3.com.
Too much Oktoberfest. Good old boy Dave, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, Dave.
Hi, buddy.
Kendall, definitely thank you for joining us.
It was wonderful. Love doing these shows.
Good old boy Caperton.
It's always a blast. I'm pleased to be here. Thanks for having me.
But of course he brought us Saison.
Of course. I was so excited, too.
Reverend Mark.
Hey, loving it always. Thanks for having me here.
This is good old boy Mike. Thanking you so much for joining us here on Sip, Suds, and Smokes for this elegant episode.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to come back, join us once again, and keep on sipping, people.
This has been a One Tan Hand production of Sip, Suds, and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the Good Old Boys, will see you all next time.